Hey folks, this is Chris with Oregon Figs. It's the first day of spring 2024. Welcome to spring, everybody. I hope you're as excited about this year as I am. I'm really excited about my growing season this year. So I get asked a question about, when's the best time to plant your fig tree in ground. Once again, that's kind of location specific, but for us in the Pacific Northwest in 8B, you can plant the trees in ground anytime. I just put 2 trees in ground in the middle of the winter this year, and they haven't missed a beat. They were larger trees. They had some good girth or diameter to the base of them. They had that beautiful gray color from an older tree, and lignified all the way up. So they didn't miss a beat. So this is another tree, beet Romand. This is a Pons variety. We'll go up this and we'll look. It's breaking bud here in the garage at the lake house, and it's lignified all the way up. It's good size. It can go in ground anytime. But as you start to see more green growth, you might want to wait. Now I might want to wait, and I will wait until we get past frost danger so that I don't lose those green buds. So that's one of those things. Now, a little caveat to the whole question of when to plant in ground. This is RDB, Ronde de Bordeaux. This was grown by my buddy Josiah up out of Salem, and it grew really fast, lots of node spacing. And as you get into here, let's try to get better light on it. This was really green. So I decided I'm not even going to leave this one outside. Typically I leave my trees outside. I said I'm going to put this one and keep this in this garage, and it has died from right down at this little bud right in here, all the way up. If you look closely at it, you can see it's desiccating, losing all moisture. This is dead. That's why I kept this one in the garage all winter long, to protect it, because it was so green, and really nice node spacing as it was growing. So it grew really fast and didn't lignify. But this was a gift. I decided I really want this in ground, so I'm going to hold off putting it in ground because it's been too cold. Now, if this was totally lignified like that beet Romand over there, I could have put it in the middle of the winter. Here's another one I've held off on putting in ground. This is Angelito from Eric. And Braba, and apical bud breaking. So you can see this tree right here is a little bit green as well. I'm in no hurry to put it in. Let's go over to some other trees that I was going to put in and I've decided not to put in because they're just too small. I'm finding that you really need to wait until you have a little bit of girth and you have a little bit of age on the tree and you don't have a lot of green growth. You put a tree like this in and it might grow nicely the first year. You can see in this garage with the sun coming in, we've had some really warm weather in the 70s, that this is broken bud, right? And has a Braba, de Treesplay, another Pons variety that I can't wait to get in the ground. Why am I not putting it in the ground? Because it's too small. I'm going to grow this out for another year. Improved Celeste, same type of situation. It was breaking. I took these buds off here because I wanted more height out of the tree. Best way to prune is with your fingers. Early with your fingers. This is another Pons called Sucerea. And it has a little Braba on it. And the apical bud looks very good. And it's got all 3 of these have pretty good lignification. And I might get away with putting them in the ground. But if I wait another year, my chances of success are much better. This is a tree gifted from my buddy Eric outside of Salem called I-376. It's supposed to be a great Braba producer, and you can see it is. And it's big enough. It's a little bit, has a little more diameter, and it's super lignified. I'm going to put this one in the ground. This is Fico Seco. Same kind of thing. A little more diameter. There's a breva on it as well. And I'm putting it in the ground this year. This is Algerina Blanca from Pons. And this, look how green it is. It just never lignified. So I didn't want to leave this one outside, right? Because it still gets pretty cold here. And when I take you out to the orchard, in my next video, you're going to see what happens when you put a tree in ground, no matter what time of the year you put it in ground, but you put it in ground and it's not ready to go in ground. I've got some really good lessons there. This is Bill's Communa, nicely lignified, little breva on it. And this is one I'm really excited about. This is Gris de Saint-Jean, Gray of St. John, French variety. And Brian Melton has reported about this having great breva and lots of breva, and that's why I'm growing it. I'm putting it in ground. But you see the girth on this? And you see how gray that is? That's older wood. That won't miss a beat going in ground. So when should you plant and when can you plant fig trees in ground in R8B? You can plant them anytime here. You just need to plant the right tree. There's no super advantage of planting a tree in ground in the fall. It's not like a hardwood, which will overwinter and just, break bud and go nuts in the spring. These are fig trees. They really don't want to go in the ground when it's cold. You're not going to get any benefit from putting these in the ground when it's cold. You might lose the tree. So it's just not worth it. So I always say spring is the best time to plant a nicely well lignified tree with a little bit of girth and diameter in ground in the Pacific Northwest. The only place you can really get away with planting in the fall is probably like a zone 9 or a zone 10. You might get away with it. But in other lower zones, you really shouldn't be doing it. I'm going to show you the next video. Stay tuned. Wait till you see the next video. And I'm going to emphasize my point. You can plant in ground any time of the year in the Pacific Northwest. You are not guaranteed good results unless you plant the right tree. Okay, I hope this helps. And I hope this gets you excited to watch the next video when I get out in the orchard.